I'm Stacey. Welcome to the kitchen of my old Kentucky home. Today on Bourbon and Biscuits, we're going to be cooking for the holidays. We'll be making two very traditional recipes, but with a Kentucky spin. I'm going to be making a bourbon roasted turkey, and Jessica is going to show us a mulled wine with a bourbon riff. Let's get started. For our bourbon roasted turkey, here's what we'll need. 1 thawed turkey breast, 1 cup orange juice, 1 cup Kentucky bourbon, 1/4 cup sorghum, 1 orange, 1 onion, fresh sage. So I don't know about you, but in my family, it was always the women who prepared the turkey for a holiday dinner. It would be grandma or aunts or my mom. So it would be years, well after I was married, that I would ever be called upon to make a turkey. Then I met a good friend who changed my life literally with this recipe, because otherwise I was sort of scared to try that, to repeat what my ancestors had done. This one is so simple, I think it might change your life as well. And with the Kentucky bourbon and the secret ingredient, the sorghum, it just breaks down the tissues, I guess, in this turkey. It makes it so moist. So here we go. This is the recipe that you'll need for a turkey breast. I'm only cooking this for my little family of 4. If I was going to do a larger gathering, I'd have a whole turkey and I would just double all of these. So for this simple one with the turkey breast, we're just going to need this 1 cup of Kentucky bourbon. I'm using Maker's Mark in this because my friend worked in PR for Maker's Mark at the time, so this is always an homage to her, and I'll tell you more about her later. Orange juice, you could use fresh if you wanted. That's just Trader Joe's. And then this is good old Kentucky sorghum. You could substitute honey or molasses for this as well, but this is a pure Kentucky recipe here. And all we're gonna do is mix this simple marinade, just those 3 ingredients. All right. And then we're just going to take our thawed bird, and during the holidays, a lot of times you can find them fresh, but if you get yours frozen, then you'll want to give yourself some time, at least a day or 2, to let it thaw out properly in the fridge. So I'm just gonna get this nice and coated. I'm gonna turn this a couple times. And then you're gonna leave this in a refrigerator. You can just put some saran wrap over this, or if you have a larger bowl with a lid. You're gonna wanna turn this maybe once a day. You need at least 24 hours to let this marinade set in. My favorite is to have at least 3 days. And that's what I've done. So I'm gonna go off camera here. We're gonna saran wrap this, put this guy in the refrigerator, and I'll cook this off later. But I've got one that's been marinating that I'm gonna take out and show you how to prep. So I have my prepared turkey that I have now been marinating for 3 days in the basement refrigerator. And I think you can see how the marinade gets a little deeper in color as it's sat over time. And I have flipped this, try to flip this every day. I wanted to show you how I prep my roasting pan. I'm sure you have your own methods and maybe know this, but just in case. I like to, kept this pretty nice and clean over the years. I like to line it with a heavy-duty aluminum foil first, because this turkey will be very juicy and run off. So there we go, and I've got a roasting rack just set in there as well. I'm just gonna take this bird out of the marinade. I'll let that pour off because you're gonna wanna save this. This is gonna make a great gravy for those mashed potatoes. All right, I'm just gonna lay this on the roasting pan. I'm gonna keep it up for just a second as I do the rest of the prep. And I've just taken that fresh orange that I cut and just throw some pieces of that in the cavity, along with some of the onion that I quartered. I'm just gonna stuff that in here. And that looks like that is all that this little guy is gonna hold. And then also I have just a couple pieces of fresh sage. I'll save some for some garnish too. But I'll break a couple of those, kind of break them up for their aroma, and we'll stuff those in there as well. Okay, then you're just gonna turn the bird. And I like to rub it down with just a little butter So my butter's always at room temperature in our house. So we'll just give him a good coating. And then the last thing I like to do before I put it in the oven, we're gonna put it on the lower portion, the last rack. I like to cover it with just a sheet of foil for at least the first hour, hour and a half, so it doesn't get too dark. I like a nice golden color on this. So we are going to put this in the oven at 350, and we're going to roast it for 15 minutes per pound. So this was an 8-pounder, so about 2 hours. That will give Jessica plenty of time to whip us up our special holiday bourbon cocktail.
Today I'm going to make a cocktail that is more an inspiration from, rather than directly a riff off of, mulled wine. So mulled wine you typically drink in the wintertime, and it is served hot. You use red wine, some of those like warm baking spices like cinnamon and nutmeg, and a lot of times you use brandy, but in Kentucky, of course, you'll see bourbon too. But for my kind of version today, we're gonna be making a cold cocktail that is inspired by these ingredients. So what I'm gonna use is bourbon, of course, a red wine, something a little on the fruitier side, so I'm using a Merlot. We're gonna use honey simple syrup, which I've just heated together to incorporate together the honey equal parts with water. Got sliced oranges, fresh squeezed lemon juice, some cinnamon and nutmeg for a garnish. So what we're gonna do is take 2 ounces of this wine, and I'm gonna put everything into a cocktail glass that already has ice in it. I'm gonna do 1 ounce of bourbon. I'm gonna do half an ounce each of this honey simple syrup and lemon juice. I'm gonna give all that a good shake here. All right, I'm just gonna strain this into a wine glass or some kind of fluted glass if I can get the lid off. And I'm going to garnish it here with an orange wedge, a cinnamon stick, and then we're just gonna do a little shake of nutmeg too. All right, and there we have it. It's our bourbon mulled wine cocktail.
Jessica, first of all, before I even try this, I've got to say just the aroma on it, cinnamon just says holidays.
And
right?
Orange, cinnamon sticks, it looks really festive to me.
And so it's your riff on mulled wine.
Yeah, so I like mulled wine, but I don't think everybody necessarily wants to drink hot wine.
Yeah.
You know, so I want to try something a little different.
It's almost like a sangria, really.
Yeah, like a winter sangria.
Well, there you go.
That's actually kind of a better name for it than what I was trying to come up with, some combination of cocktail mulled wine. So I like that even better.
Very good. This is going to pair really well with the turkey, I think. Speaking of, is it just me, or have you been roasting turkeys?
No, I'm absolutely terrified trying to roast a turkey. Like, I would not want to host a Thanksgiving dinner because of the turkey situation.
So maybe some other people feel that way too. It wasn't till I met Honey Goldman, that's this lady's name, and she gave me this recipe, and I just was dying to try it because bourbon. And I did it that first time with the turkey breast too, because I wasn't going to try to make it, for the whole family. And I'm telling you, it was just so easy, and it's one of the most tender, moist turkeys I've ever had.
And there's nothing worse than dry turkey.
No. So this is a really easy turkey to make. And now I am the baton has been passed, and we go to the beach now for beach giving.
Right.
But I will make this bourbon roasted turkey.
Well, maybe I'll try next year. Get brave.
I think you should. Well, I hope you do. And here's one more tip.
Okay.
When you do, I know we have some footage of this. The gravy, you save your marinade, like I said, and put it on the stove and just bring it to a boil and thicken it with a little cornstarch. And
Genius.
oh my gosh, the aroma on that, it smells like you have baked bread all day.
Oh, well, that is fantastic. Thanks
Love
for the
it.
tip.
Absolutely.
Well, here is to old traditions and passing down new ones. And we will see you all next time on Bourbon
And biscuits.
Cheers.